Let's move on to this particular story now. Alexandra residents are still trying to rebuild their homes that were razed by the fire. It's been 4 days since the disaster, and South Africans continue to donate food and clothes to that community. Now, members have lost important documents such as IDs and birth certificates. Gauteng Premier, you'll recall, David Makhura has visited the area and promised assistance, and eNCA's Malungelo Booi is covering this particular story for us, and he joins us live now. So, Malu, good morning to you. What government assistance has been given to the people of Alexandra since the commitments by the Premier on Friday?
Well, Kole, that's a very important question as to what exactly has government done for this particular community. Hence, following that visit by Gauteng Premier and the MEC and officials from the city of Johannesburg, well, people here will tell you that they've not received any assistance from government, especially the assistance that they need. They need building material, Kole. They need to make sure that they rebuild their homes. What they're currently using, they're using the corrugated iron sheets that were destroyed in the blaze. What they're doing, what they do is to straighten them up and then use them again to rebuild their homes. Others, though, have used their savings, which they were going to try to use when they go home back to their various provinces for Christmas. They've used that money to buy themselves new building material. They're saying that they can no longer wait for government to provide them the building material. Remember, Koli, that promise was made on Friday. People waited on Saturday, they waited on Sunday, and they are still waiting even today. But they say they won't wait any longer because they want to pick up the pieces and continue to live their lives. And of course, the Gauteng Premier had said to these residents that this issue, what happened here, is an emergency. It has to be treated with as such, but people here are wondering whether Premier meant what he meant, that this issue will be given the priority it deserves, because people are saying that they have not received the necessary help that they need from government. That help is for them to build their homes. They're talking about building material. At the same time, Premier David Makhura did also make an assurance here that residents would also, or Home Affairs officials would also be here to assist residents who have also lost their identity documents and birth certificates for their children. But when you speak to residents whether has that happened, they'll tell you that it has not happened at all.
And residents, Malu, how do they feel about government making these promises, and it takes time for them to actually deliver? What's the sentiment on the ground, particularly towards Premier David Makhura's government?
Well, it's quite interesting, Koli, because some people will tell you that, well, they knew that something like this would happen, that officials and politicians would come here and make grand promises, and nothing after that. Nothing happens after that. But of course, we're waiting to hear from officials from the Gauteng government as to exactly when all this emergency material for these residents will be provided, and when actually Home Affairs officials will arrive to this place, because a commitment was made to local residents that everything possible would be done to help them rebuild their homes.
Just importantly, Marlene, finally, ID documents. I mean, those documents are basically what people need to access, whether it be services, whatever you call it, whether it be opening bank accounts. Those documents are important, particularly for those also who go and seek grant money. Has the Home Affairs Department been there?
No, Colin, not at all. In fact, when I was talking to a lady who lost her identity documents and birth certificates of her 5 children, and she was saying that she is still waiting for Home Affairs officials to arrive here, as a promise was made by the Premier on Friday that Home Affairs would be roped in to assist. That has not happened, and people are asking themselves, when will the help that they need need the most actually arrive here? And that's the question really that we're hoping that officials would actually provide us, because people want time frames, Koli, as to when that building material will arrive so that they can continue to rebuild their homes. But I think what is also interesting, Koli, to note is that people are actually not waiting for government officials to do things for themselves. They've begun to rebuild their homes using the damaged corrugated iron sheets. Others have used the little savings that they have to go and buy new corrugated iron sheets that they can use to build their own homes, because they're saying that they have to continue with their lives.
Malungelo Booi.